Hello guys, today's video is going to be how to book an escort, Australia edition. And the reason why it's Australia edition is because I don't know for a lot of other countries how it works there or what advertising platforms they use. So we're just going to do exclusively how to book a worker, Australia edition. So the first thing you're probably thinking is, where do I even find them? Where are the ads? Where do they exist? Most workers in Australia will use certain advertising platforms, the most common being Scarlet Blue, which is my preferred advertising platform. We also have Escorts and Babes, which is a really big one here. There are some smaller ones like Ivy Society is probably your next down the list, Real Babes, and there are some smaller ones like Dakota Dice and Tryst, I believe. However, personally, as a newbie, I would suggest that you stick with Scarlet Blue and Escorts and Babes as they are the most commonly used ones and have the most girls on them. So now that you have navigated to these websites and you're ready to go, you're looking at your options and you're like, holy fuck, there are so many girls on here. I know, it's overwhelming. The first thing you need to do is find a worker that is in your location. And I know this probably sounds like common sense to a lot of people watching this, but unfortunately, this kind of goes out the door when they're looking at the photos, particularly when they get caught on the homepage and they're just sort of looking and spotting someone that they like and messaging them. You need to use the tabs along the top and find someone in your location. So let's say you're looking for a worker in Brisbane, which is where I am based. You'll need to hit the Brisbane section of the website to see workers in that location, all right? And it's going to be a little bit confusing because some of them may say down the bottom just below their picture, for example on Scarlet Blue, it may say Sydney Escort, but it's saying that they're in Brisbane. So please make sure that you are having a bit of a look into that. You want to look to see if it says Brisbane Escort, or if it says that they are touring and it will say in Brisbane the 7th to the 10th, okay? That's exactly what you're looking for. Once you've had a little bit of a scroll and maybe you've narrowed it down to a few workers, what you want to do is go through and have a look at the photos. One thing I would be looking for is, are they photo or video verified on their ad? That's not really a necessity, but if you're wanting to avoid scams, which I'll do a completely separate video on scams and things like that, you'll want to probably place preference on workers who are video or photo verified on these platforms. The next thing you need to do is read the ad in full. I know reading is boring and there's sexy photos and they're very distracting and it's hard to focus on what's written when there's half naked women. I totally understand, but unfortunately, in order for this interaction to go the way you want it to, you're going to have to read. The ad will probably include 95% of questions you have because the girls have written it that way in order to limit the contact and the chit chat on their phones. So things like how much they charge, if they do in calls and out calls, or you can only book them for an out call, or you can only book them for an in call. What services do they offer? You know, you may have a particular thing that you're into. Let's say you love feet and you want feet to be a part of your services that day. You can find workers who offer that by their services list. The ad will also include things like how they want a deposit paid. Do they require a deposit? How the remaining balance is to be paid on the day. A lot of these things, 95% of the time, will be answered on the ad. So you want to be looking for a worker who the way she runs her business aligns with how you want to have your booking. Are you okay with paying a deposit? Sweet, you should be, because most good workers will require one. Do you have an issue with sending photo ID? Is that a concern for you? If it is, proceed on to find another worker who doesn't require photo ID. Your boundaries with what you're comfortable with when booking a service will be completely different person to person. So now that you have found that worker and you're like, yes, I want Lillith Lodge, yes, I'm happy with the way that she runs her business and what's going to be required of me and that I have to pay a deposit, I'm gonna send the first message. Before you jump in and send a, hey babe, you look hot, or are you available today? Just take a second and think about what would be setting a great first impression. For me personally, a lot of those kind of messages, I don't even reply to 90% of the time, unless I'm just trying to make content, like a time waster video or something like that. I really don't engage with those kinds of silly messages. My ad has a template of how to contact me and the information that I need to make a booking for you. And most other workers have exactly the same thing at the top of their ad. What they'll need most of the time will be your name, sometimes your age, what time and date you would like to book, how long for, if you have any special requests, If it's an out call, what is the address of the out call? Is it a hotel? Is it your private residence, etc.? And this will be laid out for you when you read the ad. So all you want to do is copy and paste and fill in your information and send that through to her. If you want to set a great first impression, just follow that format. Honestly, it is so refreshing when you see one of those come through. You're like, oh my God, it's a legitimate customer. Oh, and like, there are so many ways that you can set a great first impression, and one of them is that. It's brilliant, you know, and I think it's unusual that we have to sort of drill that into customers a lot of the time, when if you were trying to book your car in for a service at your local car repair place, you'd be like, hey mate, my car needs a service. Can I do it at this time? Or what times do you have available, right? You wouldn't just be like, hi mate, you're hot. Can I see you today? Like, it's just a little bit of respect goes a long way. So now that you have sent that first message and you're patiently awaiting a reply, please do not spam her phone. I don't know how often this happens when, you know, they're expecting that they would have a reply within an hour and they don't. So they start sending more and more messages, question marks, more questions, being very impatient. It doesn't set a good first impression. And for a lot of workers, especially if they are booked and busy, they won't even reply to this kind of shit. They just won't reply to it. Like, you won't even get a chance. You need to be understanding that the girls are human beings too, and they have lives. Some of them might have partners, they have families, they probably have other jobs in a lot of cases, other things that they are doing. They could even be in a booking. They might be in a 2-day booking when you send that text, okay? So you just need to be a little bit patient and a little bit understanding that it is not an instant reply sort of thing. For some workers, you might get lucky and you might get replied to straight away. Other times it might be 2 days before they get back to you. For some of them, it might be a week. Maybe they're taking some time off. But being impatient and peppering phones is not a good first impression. A lot of the workers, like, I'm pretty sure mine has a note saying if you haven't got a reply within 24 hours, please feel free to try again, because I could have missed the message. But I don't see the need for multiple messages within a 24-hour span at all. I just don't see why that's necessary. Someone's very cranky. So now that the worker has got back to you and she said, hey darling, yep, I can definitely do that date and time. Sweet, here's my deposit info. You need to pay the deposit, okay? If the ad said you are required to pay a deposit, please just pay the damn deposit. If you don't want to pay a deposit, if you're not comfortable with it, you should never have contacted that worker in the first place if her ad says she requires one. This is kind of the industry norm for an assortment of reasons. I could do an entire video on why workers take deposits, but like most businesses, they require something upfront to assign that time to you, because unfortunately we get a lot of time wasters. You have sent your deposit, you've sent her confirmation that you've paid the deposit, maybe you screenshot the transfer, or you just sent her a text saying, yes, it's sent, and you're just patiently waiting for her to respond and confirm she's got the deposit. Please be mindful with this as well. She may be in other bookings. So just because you're not getting an instant reply, yes, I got that deposit, here's my address, or whatever it is you're waiting on, that doesn't mean that she is a scam. This has happened to me a lot. Somebody's taken 3 hours to send me a deposit, but then expected a response to that deposit within an hour, and I've been with other clients or sleeping or whatever the case is, okay? Then you should hear back from her, something along the lines of, hey babe, I got the deposit, sweet, thank you so much for sending it. Here is my in-call address. I'm confirming this now, I'm putting it in my calendar, whatever her process is at that point. Some workers will only give you the street name and they will give you the exact unit or the exact address when you arrive. A lot of workers do this for safety measure. So let's say they tell you the booking is going to be on John Street. Okay, John Street in the city, and you're like, sweet, but like, where on John Street? The reason why they may not be giving you the specific unit number is just for safety reasons. Personally, I don't run my business that way, so that's not something that, you know, I really want to harp on about, because I don't want anyone thinking I'm gonna send them somewhere else for their bookings. With me personally, once I have got a deposit, if it's an in-call, I will immediately send them my address. This is for a few reasons. One, where I live and work from, they cannot get up there without security passes. So there is no risk to me that a client is going to just come and knock on my door an hour early and say, hi, I'm here early, can you see me now? Which you should never do that to workers. And because I see a lot of very nervous clients and a lot of neurodivergent clients, I understand the need to know where you're going ahead of time and be able to plan where you're going to park and things like that. So this is something that I experience as a human being. I need to know ahead of time. I like to plan. I like to know exactly when I need to leave my house. So I like to give that courtesy to my clients as well, because I do think that it helps with the nerves a little bit on the day. From there, now you've got all the basics covered. The worker should, if they're a good worker, check in with you on the day of the booking, saying something like, "Hey babe, gonna see you at 5, we all good?" Just something just to confirm that they're definitely coming or you're definitely coming. When you have a chance, reply to that message, because if you don't, I mean, most workers will still sit there and wait for your booking, but it is a bit concerning to us if we don't hear from you all day and we're wondering if you're even going to do your booking, if you've forgotten about it, if you got stuck somewhere, if your phone's broken. We have no idea. And it can just be as simple as a yes. Like, it doesn't need to be a lot. From there, now that you've arrived at your booking and you're ready to go and you're very excited and very nervous, please make sure that you have organized the appropriate remaining payment method. Some workers are cash only on arrival, so you will have to ensure that you have the right amount of cash in order to pay her for that booking. Other workers like myself, I can also take the remaining balance via Beam It, but the app takes about 5 to 10 minutes to set up. So you're going to want to have done that in your own time, not in your booking time, because you're just going to be throwing away money and you're going to be really stressed and flustered. Some workers will allow bank transfers. These are something that I am very hesitant to take in most cases due to some safety issues, which I can talk about. But whatever it is, whatever her remaining payment method is, if she requires you to come with $900 worth of gift cards, however it is that her ad said that she runs it, that is what you need to show up with, and you need to be prepared. Please try to make sure that you are on time for your booking. If for some reason you are running late, communicating that with the worker, because there may be something she can do. Possibly she can swap 2 bookings around. And maybe she can just let you know, hey, I'm not going to be able to see you at all, so just turn around and head back. Communication is the key, and at the end of the day, you have booked for that time. You booked from 5 to 6 p.m. She shouldn't have to see you from 5:30 to 6:30 if it's going to impact other bookings and the rest of her schedule. So make sure that you arrive on time. I think that is all I have to say on the How to Book an Escort Australian edition. That's probably one last thing. If you're an international client, let's say you are visiting Australia from the United States or the UK or Dubai, I have no idea. I've had a lot of clients from all over the place. The deposit method will likely be a little bit different for you. In my experience, most of the time, like 90% of the time, the guys cannot simply just transfer me a deposit the same way that they can within Australia, because the banks require the legal name that is attached to the bank account, right? And that's not something that I am going to give. We have a fake name for a reason. So therefore it complicates things. And sometimes the guys try, they insist that it's going to work, and it just keeps bouncing back to them over and over and over again, and they get charges on their account. So if you want to try to proceed with that as a payment method, fine. For me personally, for international clients, I prefer Amazon gift cards. This is because they come through normally within 10 minutes or half an hour, pretty much instantly. And I use Amazon all the time for everything. So it's pretty much as good as cash to me. And because I'm not seeing hundreds of international clients all the time, it's not like I have $10,000 worth of Amazon gift cards I need to get through. The rate of them at the moment is perfectly fine for me to be able to find use for. I know for a lot of guys, this may come across as like a red flag that it's a scam, that you're sending a deposit. There are actually quite a lot of girls that do take deposits via gift cards, even for clients that are within Australia. But I do understand that it seems a little bit sketchy to have to send a gift card, especially with all the gift card scams. This is really the only option when a transfer can't be done. So just be mindful of that. You may be asked for something like that. And if she needs a gift card deposit, please be mindful of what the gift card is that she is requesting. For me personally, Amazon gift cards, great. I use them all the time. Like, I'm constantly ordering off Amazon every week. But if you were to give me a BCF $200 gift card, what am I going to do with a $200 BCF gift card? Because I don't shop there, I would have no use for it. So if she's asking for a specific gift card, just getting that. because at least then she's going to be able to use it. No matter what it is, it might be Kmart, it might be Peter Alexander, it might be Maya, who knows, whatever it is, just get the gift card that she has requested. Oh my gosh, Elise has come out in the background. You went missing yesterday, didn't you, darling? Yes, I hope that has been helpful. I do have plans to do an avoiding scams video for you guys as well. Also a client's horror story, as in not horror stories of clients doing things to me, but my clients have shared stories with me over my 2.5 years of things that they have experienced. Booking workers, so I think I would like to share a couple of their stories as well, just for awareness. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed, and yeah, have a great day.